My paper is due tomorrow, and I've never been here before, but I figured maybe I should have somebody look at it before I turned it in. I'm finished, basically.
Okay, well, here in the Writing Center,
Have you ever heard of Kiefer? This is the first class I've had with her. Have you ever had her before?
Well, I'm actually an international studies major, so...
Oh, well, she grades really hard. My paper's about Robert Frost.
Uh-huh.
And connecting other people and being open and sincere about it.
So you're writing an analysis?
Yeah, a lit analysis paper, which I've written a lot of already. But like I said, the grading in this class is ridiculous, and I just don't know how to give her what she wants.
Okay, well, let's look at your paper and see what you've got so far.
Wait. Dr. Kiefer gave us an assignment with a list of things to do in our papers. I don't know if this is going to make sense to you since you're not an English major.
Well, let's see.
Maybe you could just check to make sure the commas are good and that my intro is catchy enough.
I don't see those things listed here, but one of the items on your list is diction, and it's circled. Does that mean...
She just, doesn't like my writing style. You know, sometimes I feel like throwing this paper out the window.
Well, don't do that. I'd have to call the campus police on you for littering. Let's do this. Go ahead and read it to me, and then we'll talk about the paper and the best way to...
You want me to read it to you out loud?
Yes.
Okay. For poet Robert Frost, a genius who captivated the hearts and minds of his readers, practice restraint is an important part and vital part of human relationships. If a person exhibits restraint, they have slowed down long enough to think about the best way to have a meeting of the minds with another person or people. Too often, humans fill their lives with turning to fresh tasks or chasing after some goal instead of caring for one another. Unfortunately, when people start to ignore one another, friendships wither away like the faded beauty of wilted rose blooms. The bottom line is, people need to walk a fine line between giving each other space and being there for one another. Basically, there are three surmountable attitudes one can have when it comes to reacting to others: reckless abandon, avoidance, or restraint. Reckless abandon means showing intense emotion, whether it's joy, anger, or grief. People who give themselves up to reckless abandon really cannot seem to control themselves. They may appear to others as off their rocker or as off the wall. Their behavior actually could be a conscious decision because they do not want to take responsibility for thinking about their reactions. Or maybe they have not given the situation any thought at all and have fallen into reckless abandon because they just never really stopped to figure out the right way to act.
Okay, that was really helpful to me to hear you read the beginning of your paper so I could hear what it's about. I think we need to decide what's the best way to spend the rest of our time. The paper is due tomorrow morning, right? You mentioned commas and your introduction. Is that still what you want to work on? What about diction?
I thought my interpretation was good.
I agree. What do you think about the way you present yourself? You know, your tone.
What do you mean?
Like when you talk about friendships wither like wilted rose blooms, that's kind of flowery, you know, no pun intended.
I think you're missing the point. That's just some description I used to pull in readers to paint a picture for them.
Okay, but this is a literary analysis paper. Sometimes it's good to take a step back and take a more neutral or objective tone. It's not like you're trying to write poetry here. You're wanting to analyze it.
What else?
Okay, here's some other spots. In the second paragraph where you say off their rocker or off the wall, the language is really informal. Is your professor okay with you using informal language? Or?
You know, I'm not seeing the point or what the big problem is anymore. Like, all my teachers told me they love the way I write. I try to be more creative than other students.
Creativity is great, but some of these cliches don't come across as creative to me, at least. Look, I just want to point out some things that I noticed when you read me your paper. Some things that I think might relate to your assignment. Then you can decide whether you want to change it or not. It's totally up to you.
Right.
Another thing is, I see a lot of dashes in your paper. It's okay to use these sometimes, but when they're overused, they lose their effect. So if this diction thing is important, I'd say you should work on editing for things like that. And extra words, redundancies, clutter. Maybe just take the clutter out.
Anything else?
Well, we've got about 5 minutes or so left. What would you like to do?
I don't know, but I've got to go now. Thanks, I'll work on this some more.